climate change and biodiversity loss are the biggest challenges that are facing humanity right now. And the reality is the warning lights are flashing bright red.
In response, the green energy revolution we've all been waiting for is well underway. Clean energy from sun and wind, which of course don't cause climate change, have become decisively cheaper than dirty fossil fuels.
And the green energy revolution, what is it promising us? It's promising us reliable, low-cost energy in abundance, which allows us to transform economies and save lives because of the climate change, which will have an unimaginable impact.
But some people still see a problem. The sun doesn't always shine and the wind doesn't always blow. So is this intermittency its fatal flaw?
The problem is that most people are thinking too small scale, just within their nation state. Just imagine that you drew a box in the desert 150 kilometers by 150 kilometers and fill that box with solar power stations. You could produce all the electricity that Europe produces today from all its sources, from all its power stations. From a technical point of view, it's perfectly easy to power the world from renewable energy. What you do is you build long-distance transmission lines using high-voltage direct current lines that can transmit power over thousands of kilometers with very little loss to link us all to the areas where renewable energy is most abundant.
We're talking about up to 6,000 kilometers.
So that's like from the middle of the Sahara to London or Berlin.
Yeah, 6,000 kilometers. So in terms of technology development and practice, actually the global energy interconnection is feasible.
It is feasible now.
It is feasible now.
But the electricity flow needs to be controlled precisely. How can we switch it from wherever it's most abundant and therefore cheapest to wherever it's most needed with split-second precision? The answer is smart grids. And in Professor Zhang's lab, they're developing smart grids that can control these energy flows very precisely. So if you combine long-distance power lines with smart grids and clean energy, you get the global energy interconnection. And if this vision is realized, it'll be able to supply electricity day or night across Asia and Africa and the Middle East, all the way into Europe, the Americas, and the Antipodes.
For a flexible, secure energy future, which I see as the cost-effective one and as the sustainable one, then interconnection is just an absolutely central part of that. And it is clear already that the technology and the cost of that interconnection is there, and we should be able to move over to a decarbonised energy system.
And the electricity grid needs to become a little bit more like another grid that we have all got used to using and all take for granted now, and that's the information internet. Anybody from the largest provider of information, Google or Amazon, to the smallest individual blogger, can feed in information into the global network. Anybody can draw information out of the global network wherever they are. And it needs to be the same with energy, that anybody can feed in from their rooftop solar panels or from a giant desert solar power station, and anybody can access the renewable energy that's being fed in the same way. And the information internet crosses borders, and it needs to be the same with energy. We have to think beyond the nation state, share our clean energy resources in order for everyone to have a reliable supply of unlimited, cheap, clean energy. Governments could make this transition without annoying their voters. Most voters would be perfectly happy if the power that comes out of their plug comes from renewable energy rather than fossil fuels. The voters aren't the problem. The problem is lack of leadership.
So Nick Dunlop came up with a striking solution: to create a forum where political leaders from around the world could build momentum together for this clean energy transition. And he called it the Climate Parliament.
Climate Parliament is a network of politicians, and they come from all political parties. This isn't a party political issue. But what they are specialists at is getting governments to do things. She's okay with that? Yes, he's okay.
It's summer 2015, and the Climate Parliament is meeting in the run-up to the Paris COP. They're focusing on designing the proposal they're taking to the world leaders in Paris, and they're calling it the Green Grids Initiative. The Paris Summit, COP21. For the Climate Parliament, Paris is an opportunity to recruit support for the initiative from key leaders like the Energy Minister of Costa Rica.
This is one of the slides used for a global energy internet. Each region links up into a regional grid to trade renewable energy across borders. And for Costa Rica, this works on two levels. One is that Costa Rica, as a major renewable energy leader, can benefit from the interconnections and can often be an exporter, but also can have more energy security because when it's cloudy or not windy, you can be importing. So
in principle, I like the idea.
Another crucial partner for the Green Grids Initiative is India. It's setting the pace with its One Sun, One World, One Grid initiative, which is now building energy interconnections right across the subcontinent and beyond.
Until unless we convince our parliaments, until unless we convince all our brethren across the world, I don't think that we have a very bright future ahead of us. So the time is now. And that's why I believe, Nicholas, that your initiative is important and urgent.
It's this sense of importance and urgency that drives the next meeting of the Climate Parliament at the UK Foreign Office's Wilton Park.
we have the technology we need right now to fix this problem. But we can only harness that massive potential if we have enough long-distance transmission lines that connect all the major consumption centers, the cities and the factories, with the best locations for renewable energy.
The idea is catching fire, with potential interconnections being explored all around the world.
Our plan is that to connect the Kyushu with the Busan, and also Busan to connect to Matsue. And then China, Korea is like this one that we are planning.
Solar energy from North Africa to Europe, so perhaps that there may be...
Not only could North Africa share its clean energy with Europe, there are plans too for Africa-wide power lines.
I think the potential is amazing. I think if there's one place that is suited to green grids, is Africa. We are not bogged down with existing infrastructure, for instance, that might make us look at legacy and hold on to things that were there for us a long time ago. We could leapfrog right into the green grids concept and start from scratch and get it right and become, the cutting edge continent for renewable energies, using the concept of green grids and sharing of our resources and trading in our resources. And that could be our oil, that could be our exportable resource to Europe and the rest of the world. Our planet has given us everything. Perhaps it's just how we share it, how we collaborate on some of these resources that is the answer to the want in one place and the abundance in others.
That means we have to, in developing countries, double, redouble, and double again the electricity supply, because development is work, and work requires energy, and it would be completely unjust if the world's poor were not able to have the energy supplies that have lifted the rich countries out of poverty in generations past. This is the big event that we've been waiting for some years, when the leaders of the world come together to commit very specifically to building the new large-scale generating capacity for wind, solar and other renewables, to building the large continental-scale grids and inter-regional grid connections that we need, right down to solar panels on every roof and solar microgrids for African and Asian or Latin American villages. We've got to do this incredibly fast. And in order to do that, we need to really step up the level of political will, political energy behind these efforts. And that is what we're aiming to do in Glasgow.